Alex had lived alone for 3 quiet years in his small apartment on the 22nd floor of Orion Heights. He liked peaceful mornings, soft music, and the silence that came from living far above the crowded streets. But all of that changed the day his landlord knocked on the door with a strange expression on his face. Alex opened the door slowly. "Is something wrong, Mr. Patel?" he asked. The landlord cleared his throat, holding a digital clipboard close to his chest. "Alex, we need to discuss your new roommate." "Alex, my what?" Alex blinked. "I didn't ask for a roommate." "No, but the interplanetary exchange program assigned one to this building. And due to, space limitations, I was asked to place him with someone responsible." Mr. Patel gave Alex a pointed look. "You are responsible." "Mostly." Alex frowned. "Wait. Interplanetary?" "As in, yes," Mr. Patel sighed. "An alien, a real one, from one of those new allied worlds." Alex stared at him for a full 5 seconds. "You're kidding." The landlord shook his head. "I wish I was. He's waiting in the hallway. Please be polite. And try not to panic." He stepped aside, and that was when Alex saw him. Tall, very tall. At least 7 feet. With smooth, silver-gray skin like polished stone. Glowing teal eyes. And hair that shimmered like fine wires. He wore a black travel uniform and carried a small, cube-shaped suitcase. The alien blinked slowly, observing Alex with a calm curiosity. "Greetings," the stranger said in a low, echoing voice. "I am Rilo, of the Kartal Empire. I have been assigned living quarters with you." I am plead living quarters. "I am Rilo of the Kartal Empire. I have been assigned living quarters with you." "I am Senshin. I am Rilo of the Kartal Empire." Alex opened his mouth. Closed it again. Tried once more. Hi." Rilo tilted his head, studying the word as if it were an interesting rock. "Hi," he repeated with perfect seriousness. Mr. Patel gave Alex a tight smile. "Good luck," he whispered, and he rushed toward the elevator before Alex could protest. Now Alex stood alone with a 7-foot alien. He took a deep breath. "Okay, come in." Rilo stepped through the doorway with slow, careful movements. He looked around the apartment like he was mapping every corner with his mind. Alex watched him closely, unsure whether he should offer a drink, a tour, or maybe just a chair before things got too weird. "This dwelling is adequate," Rilo announced. "Smaller than the chamber I used during training, but acceptable." "Thanks," Alex muttered. "So, how long are you staying?" 3 Earth cycles, Rilo said calmly. Alex blinked. "You mean 3 years?" "Correct." Alex almost dropped the water bottle he had picked up. 3 years. With an alien roommate. His quiet life had just taken a dramatic turn, but it was too late to question it now. Rilo had set his cube-shaped suitcase on the floor, and it unfolded silently into a set of drawers, a hovering lamp, and a sleeping mat that slowly expanded to full size. "Whoa," Alex breathed. "That's cool?" Rilo's glowing eyes brightened. "You approve. This is good." There was an awkward silence, one Alex felt responsible to break. "So, since you're new here, maybe I should explain some Earth customs." Rilo straightened immediately. "Yes, I must learn quickly. My mission requires that I understand humans." "Mission?" Alex asked, alarm rising again. Rilo nodded. "A peaceful one. I am here to observe, learn, and adapt. Your species is known for rapid development, unpredictable behavior, and remarkable resilience. We wish to understand how you function." "Function," Alex repeated. "Like, how we live, and how you survive," Rilo added. "Humans endure far more chaos than most species. This is admirable." Alex wasn't sure whether to feel proud or insulted. He settled for neutral confusion. "Well," Alex said, "why don't we start simple? Like, daily habits. Eating, sleeping, talking, you know, normal stuff." Rilo's eyes glowed brighter. I am ready. Alex didn't feel ready at all. The first test. Human seating. Alex figured the easiest way to begin was with something harmless like teaching Rilo how to sit on a couch. This, Alex said, patting the cushion, is a couch. Humans sit on it to relax. Rilo approached it slowly, as if it might attack him. It appears soft, unstable. It is not supported by metallic structure. Nope, Alex said. It's supposed to be soft. Trust me. Rilo gave the couch one more suspicious look, then tried to sit. Except he didn't sit. He slowly sank into the cushions like a boulder sinking into wet sand. Alex watched in horror. You're supposed to stop when you feel the cushion. I cannot stop, Rilo said calmly as he disappeared deeper. It is consuming me. It's not consuming you. Just lean forward. Rilo leaned forward too hard and shot upward off the couch like a spring-loaded statue. He landed on his feet with perfect balance. This device is dangerous, he declared. Alex laughed despite himself. It's not dangerous. You're just heavy, Rilo nodded. Yes. My bones are made of compressed crystal. Oh, that explained a lot. Second test. Human drinks. Alex decided next to offer a drink. Simple enough. Do you want water? He asked. Rilo nodded. I have researched water. Humans require it to survive. It is essential. Right, Alex said, handing him a glass. Just sip it. Rilo studied the glass like it was an artifact from an ancient world. Then he lifted it carefully to his mouth and took a small sip. He froze. Alex stiffened. You okay? Rilo stared at the glass with awe. This water is incredible. It's just tap water. Tap. Rilo repeated with reverence, as though the word itself held sacred power. Your planet offers water freely, with no purification crystals, no extraction chambers, no filtration rituals. Alex blinked. You guys make water complicated? Extremely. Well, Alex shrugged. Welcome to Earth. Enjoy the hydration. End quote. 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 Rilo took another sip but then almost dropped the glass when the refrigerator hummed to life. What is that? Rilo demanded, stepping back like the fridge might explode. It's just the fridge, Alex explained. It keeps food cold. Rilo stared at it suspiciously. It growls. It hums. Growls, Rilo insisted. Alex shook his head. You'll get used to it. Third test. Human greetings. Alex decided to test something more social next. Humans greet each other by shaking hands, he said, holding out his hand. Rilo leaned forward, examining Alex's hand closely. Your species uses physical contact to begin conversation? Yeah. Why? Alex opened his mouth, then closed it again. Honestly, I have no idea. Tradition, I guess. Rilo touched Alex's hand with 2 fingers first, gently, as if testing the texture of human skin. Then, remembering the instructions, he gripped Alex's hand firmly, too firmly. Okay, too hard, Alex gasped. Rilo released him instantly. My apologies. My strength is calibrated for combat. No combat here. Alex wheezed, shaking out his hand. Just friendship. Rilo looked thoughtful. Friendship. A useful social bond. Alex nodded. Yeah. Useful. For survival, Rilo added with absolute seriousness. Alex laughed again. Sure. For survival. The first evening. By late evening, Rilo had explored every corner of the apartment. He paused at every wall decoration, stared at each appliance, tested each piece of furniture, and even asked whether the houseplants were sentient. Alex ordered pizza for dinner, explaining that humans occasionally enjoy food that is delivered to their door. Rilo looked amazed when the doorbell rang 11 minutes later. You summoned nourishment, Rilo whispered. And it arrived. That's delivery. Humans are efficient. Alex couldn't help smiling. Rilo was strange, intense, confused, and sometimes terrifying, but he was genuinely trying. When it was time for sleep, Rilo sat cross-legged on his glowing sleeping mat. "Alex," he said quietly, "I believe I understand something about humans now." "Yeah?" Alex asked, brushing his teeth. "You adapt, quickly, even when your world changes suddenly." Alex turned off the bathroom light, thinking about those words. "I guess we do." Rilo nodded. "Then I will adapt as well. I will learn all your customs. I will not fail this mission." Alex grinned tiredly. "Good luck. There are a lot of customs." Rilo's eyes gleamed. "Then tomorrow, I will attempt more." "Two." Alex groaned softly. "Oh no." Rilo tilted his head. "Is that a human phrase of excitement?" "Not exactly." But Rilo didn't hear the correction. He simply rested his hands on his knees and closed his glowing eyes. Calm and determined, Alex lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. A 7-foot crystal-boned alien was living in his apartment. Tomorrow would be interesting. Very, very interesting. Alex woke to the sound of humming. Not soft humming, but a deep, metallic vibration that made his nightstand tremble. He sat up in panic. Earthquake? Construction? Another fridge incident? He jumped out of bed and ran into the living room, only to find Rilo floating 3 feet above the floor in a cross-legged position, glowing faintly blue. Alex rubbed his eyes. Morning?" Rilo opened his bright teal eyes. "Greetings." "You're floating." "Yes," Rilo said calmly. "Gravity meditation is essential for proper alignment." Alex blinked. "Humans don't do that." Rilo nodded, touching the ground softly. "Understood. Then I must replace this ritual with a human morning custom." "Oh boy," Alex whispered under his breath. Rilo stood up very tall, very serious. "Teach me." Alex didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Rilo had the intense look of a student, ready for an exam he didn't understand. "All right," Alex sighed. "Let's start with a normal human morning routine." Rilo straightened. "I am ready." Human morning routine, Lesson 1, breakfast. Alex started with the kitchen. "Simple enough?" "Hopefully." "This," Alex said, picking up a box, "is cereal." Rilo observed the box like it was a weapon. "Cereal," he repeated slowly. "It's breakfast. Humans eat it in the morning." Alex poured cereal into a bowl and then added milk. Rilo stared with shock. "You combine solid and liquid together without fear?" "It's food, Rilo." Rilo leaned closer. "It crackles. The small pieces, they sound aggressive." "They're not aggressive," Alex insisted. "They're just crunchy." Rilo touched one piece with a single finger as if testing its nature. Then he slowly lifted the spoon and took a bite. He froze again. Alex leaned forward. "Is it good?" Rilo swallowed and nodded. "It is confusing, but pleasant, like edible noise." "That's not wrong." Rilo took another bite, this time faster. "This is effective. I accept breakfast." Alex grinned. "Good. One human habit down." But the moment was ruined when the toaster popped violently, launching 2 slices of bread into the air. Rilo reacted instantly. He shielded Alex with one arm and grabbed a chair with the other, raising it like a shield. "We are under attack!" "Rilo, wait, no!" Alex shouted. The bread landed harmlessly on the counter. Rilo stared at it, confused. "Your food devices are aggressive. It's just a toaster. It's supposed to pop." Rilo squinted at the toaster. "I do not trust it." Alex sighed. "You don't have to trust it, just don't destroy it." Rilo slowly lowered the chair. "Very well. I will restrain myself." Vilo/2. Come see. Vilo. Vilo/2. Vilo/2. Alex groaned. "This is going to be a long day." Lesson 2. Human clothing choices. Rilo's travel uniform looked intimidating, black, armored, with glowing lines at the joints. If they were going to go outside, he needed something less. "Alien soldier. We should get you clothes," Alex said. Rilo looked down at himself. Is my uniform not acceptable? It's cool, but you'll stand out. Rilo nodded slowly. Humans value camouflage? No, we value not getting arrested. Ah. Alex handed him a simple t-shirt and jeans. Rilo held the t-shirt up. It is small armor? It's cotton. Cotangent ton. Rilo repeated, like he was naming a sacred relic. He tried to put the t-shirt on but got stuck halfway, arms flailing inside the fabric. Alex, he said, voice muffled, the armor is attacking me. It's not armor, just pull your head through the hole. Rilo wrestled the shirt like a stubborn creature. After 30 seconds of struggle, he emerged with the shirt on backwards, tags sticking out, eyes offended. This device is flawed. You're wearing it backwards. Rilo blinked. Backwards? Alex helped him correct it. Then came the jeans. Rilo stepped into them carefully, too carefully, then pulled them up with unnecessary force. The button flew off like a bullet and hit the wall. Alex covered his face. Okay. We need elastic waistbands. Rilo stared down at the jeans, expression full of betrayal. Lesson 3. Human walking in crowds. Later that morning, Alex guided Rilo outside the apartment building. The moment the automatic doors slid open, sunlight hit Rilo's gray skin, making it shimmer like metal. Rilo looked around, amazed. So many humans, he whispered. So much movement. So much noise. That's a normal street. I must record this. Rilo pressed a button on his wrist console. A small floating orb appeared, scanning the environment. Dude, Alex hissed. You can't know alien tech in public. Rilo blinked. Why? Because people will freak out. Rilo looked around at the humans walking past, completely ignoring them. They are not observing. Still, put it away. Rilo sighed and tapped his wrist. The orb vanished. They began walking. Rilo moved carefully, like he was afraid to step on something important. You can relax a bit, Alex said. Just walk normally. Rilo nodded, trying to copy Alex's pace. But the moment someone bumped his shoulder lightly, Rilo stiffened like he'd been attacked. Do I respond? He asked. Is this a challenge? No, Alex said quickly. Humans bump into each other all the time. Rilo looked offended. Without apology? Without battle? Strange. Don't fight anyone. I will try. Lesson 4. Human small talk. Alex took Rilo to a small coffee shop to test social habits. This is a good place to practice small talk, Alex explained. Rilo frowned. Small talk? Why small? Why not large talk? Because humans use light conversation to be friendly. Rilo thought about that. So, it is a ritual of bonding? Exactly. Alex walked up to the counter. 1 iced coffee. The barista smiled. And for him? Rilo stepped forward, serious as ever. I request 1. Cup of your strongest liquid. The barista blinked. You mean espresso? Yes, Rilo said firmly. 1 espresso. They sat down, Alex sipping his drink. Rilo watched his espresso cup with caution. Should I drink this? It's normal. Humans drink it for energy. Rilo nodded and took the entire thing in 1 gulp. His eyes widened. His pupils shrank to pinpoints. His body straightened like a lightning rod. Rilo? Alex whispered. I feel vibration, Rilo said in a voice that sounded both amazed and terrified. The liquid has awakened my inner storms. Oh no, Alex muttered. You're caffeinated. Rilo trembled slightly. I understand. Everything. No you don't. Rilo stood up. I must move. No, don't. But Rilo was already outside, walking at incredible speed around the block, vibrating with pure caffeine energy. Alex slapped his forehead. Why did I bring an alien to a coffee shop? When Rilo finally returned, he was breathing heavily even though Alex wasn't sure aliens breathed the same way. That liquid is dangerous, Rilo said. Humans drink this willingly? Yeah. Rilo stared at him with new respect. Your species is fearless. Lesson 5. Human emotions. Back in the apartment, Rilo sat cross-legged on the rug, hands on his knees, head bowed. Alex looked worried. You okay? Ah, Rilo nodded slowly. I am processing today's lessons. Too much? Not too much, Rilo said softly. Just different. Alex sat beside him. It's normal. Earth is confusing sometimes. Even for humans. Rilo looked at Alex, eyes dimmer than usual. I have seen war. I have traveled through nebula storms. I have survived vacuum exposure. But this, he gestured around. Human life. It is complex. Alex smiled. Yeah, but it's also fun. Rilo tilted his head. Fun. Yeah, like trying new things, learning, laughing at mistakes. Rilo thought deeply. I do not understand laughter. Alex chuckled. You will. Rilo looked down at his hands. Alex. Sure. Am I doing well? Alex blinked. Rilo sounded almost insecure. You're doing great, Alex said with a smile. Seriously? For your first day? You survived cereal, crowds, clothes, and coffee. That's more than some humans do. Rilo's eyes brightened, glowing warmly. Then I will continue learning. I want to understand humans. Not just for my mission, but because it feels important. Alex nodded. It is. Rilo stood slowly. Then tomorrow, I will attempt more customs. Alex groaned. I'm afraid to ask which ones. Rilo placed a hand on Alex's shoulder carefully this time. Do not fear. I will learn to be human. Alex smiled. One step at a time, big guy. Rilo nodded. One human step. The alien's determination filled the room like quiet thunder. Tomorrow would be even more chaotic, even more unpredictable, and somehow, even better. Alex woke up with a sense of dread. Yesterday had been chaotic, but today felt dangerous in a different way. He stepped into the living room and found Rilo standing perfectly still in front of the TV, staring at the blank screen as if waiting for it to speak. Morning, Alex said cautiously. Rilo didn't move. Alex, he said in a low voice. Last night, I discovered something. Oh no, Alex whispered. What did you discover? Rilo pointed at the TV. This device contains millions of human experiences. It's just a TV. Millions. Rilo repeated dramatically. Well, yeah, Alex admitted. Movies, news, shows. Rilo turned his glowing eyes toward Alex. I must learn them. All of them. Alex nearly choked. You can't. That would take years. Rilo considered this. Then I will begin with 1. He pressed a button. The TV lit up. Alex held his breath. Rilo's first human movie. The movie that autoplayed was a famous Earth adventure story. Heroes running, explosions everywhere, dramatic music. Rilo watched with unblinking intensity. After 4 minutes, he stood abruptly. This is inaccurate, he declared. Alex blinked. What? No human could survive that jump. And the explosion radius completely incorrect. It's fiction. Rilo frowned. Fiction? It means it's made up. Rilo stared at the screen. Humans enjoy inaccurate danger simulations? Basically. Rilo slowly sat back down. Fascinating. Continue. For the next hour, Alex watched Rilo watch the movie. He reacted strangely. He leaned forward during emotional scenes. He tilted his head at jokes, trying to understand humor. He jumped slightly every time a loud sound played. He whispered things like, humans are brave. And why did he make that decision? And emotional betrayal detected. When the movie ended, Rilo sat very still. Alex, he said softly, I have learned something. What's that? Humans fear losing their bonds, their connections. Alex nodded. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Rilo looked almost moved. This story, it was powerful. Alex smiled. Welcome to movie night. Rilo stood with new purpose. Then today, I wish to understand a real human environment, not simulations. Alex's smile faded. What kind of environment? Rilo spoke with absolute seriousness. A grocery store. Alex froze. Oh no, not that. Rilo lifted his chin. I am ready. Alex covered his face. You're not. The grocery store disaster begins. The moment they entered the store, Rilo looked overwhelmed. He stared at the bright lights, the rows of products, the colorful signs. So many choices, he whispered. Humans face this. Every week? Pretty much. Your species is incredible. Alex grabbed a shopping cart. We just need a few things. Rilo touched the cart cautiously. This device. Is it for carrying defeated enemies? It's for groceries. Rilo nodded slowly. Groceries. Alex pushed the cart forward. Rilo followed so closely it felt like a giant metal shadow breathing down Alex's neck. The fruit section. They stopped at the fruit displays. Rilo's eyes widened. The colors. They are too bright. Are these natural? Yup. Earth grows a lot of stuff. Rilo picked up an apple, examining it like ancient treasure. It is shiny. Red. Smooth. Beautiful. It's just an apple. Just an apple? Rilo repeated, offended. This object is magnificent. He sniffed it. Then he bit it. His eyes widened. Alex, this is amazing. Glad you like it. Rilo took another bite, then suddenly froze. Alex. What? What happened? This apple has a core. Yeah, don't eat that part. Rilo stared at the core like it was a small enemy. Then he gently placed it back on the display. No, Rilo, you can't put it back. Why? Does it have emotional value? No, it's just leave the core with you. Rilo nodded seriously. I will care for it. Alex sighed. The snack aisle. When they entered the snack aisle, Rilo stopped walking entirely. His eyes widened in awe and fear. So much salt. He whispered. So much sugar. Entire walls dedicated to human fuel. It's not fuel, Alex corrected. It's junk food. Rilo slowly picked up a bag of chips. This bag, it is filled with air. Yeah, it keeps the chips from breaking. Rilo gently squeezed the bag and the bag exploded in his hand, chips flying everywhere. Alex grabbed his face. Rilo stared at the mess. I have failed. You didn't fail, just don't touch anything fragile. Rilo nodded solemnly. I will touch nothing. He then immediately reached for a jar of pickles. Rilo no. The bakery section. Alex led him to a safer area. The bakery. Rilo inhaled deeply. What is this smell? Bread. Rilo blinked. Bread smells like happiness. Yeah, it does. Rilo picked up a loaf and hugged it to his chest like it was a baby animal. I protect this. You don't need to protect it. I protect this, Rilo repeated, firmer. Alex let it go. The checkout line. When they reached checkout, Rilo observed humans placing items on a moving belt. A conveyor system, he said. Efficient. Smart. He placed his apple core on the belt. Alex groaned. Rilo, why would you? It must be scanned, Rilo argued. It's trash. Rilo looked shocked. Trash? But it gave me joy. Alex sighed. Let's just leave it. Rilo reluctantly put the apple core into his pocket like a keepsake. The cashier scanned their items without noticing the chaos that had happened behind them. As they walked out, Rilo carried the bread loaf like it was royal treasure. The bus ride home. They decided not to walk home. Alex didn't trust the bread's safety. When they stepped onto a crowded bus, Rilo froze. So many humans, he whispered. So much close contact. It's public transport. Rilo held onto the pole tightly. A little too tightly. The metal pole bent under his grip with a soft creak. Rilo, Alex whispered sharply. Rilo immediately let go. This pole is fragile. And, no, you're too strong. Rilo nodded. Yes. That makes more sense. Then the bus jerked forward. Rilo flew backward like a launched missile and landed on the floor. Everyone stared. Alex helped him up quickly. Are you okay? Rilo nodded, brushing imaginary dust off his borrowed shirt. Human vehicles are unpredictable, Alex whispered. You'll get used to it. Rilo whispered back. I fear nothing except human situations. Evening reflection. Back in the apartment, Rilo placed the bread on the table gently, like a priceless artifact. Alex dropped into the couch, exhausted. Rilo sat beside him, careful not to sink too deep this time. Alex, he said quietly, today, I learned something new. Please don't say you learned fear of fruit. No. Rilo replied softly. I learned that humans face many small battles every day. Too many choices. Too many sounds. Too many surprises. Alex smiled tiredly. Yeah, that's life. Rilo looked at him, eyes glowing warmly. And yet, you still laugh. You still move forward. You still enjoy simple things like bread and movies. Alex shrugged. It's what humans do. Rilo placed a large hand on his shoulder. Then, I want to learn how to do that too. Alex smiled. We'll get there. Rilo took a deep breath. Tomorrow, I wish to try more. Alex groaned. I knew you'd say that. Rilo tilted his head. Is that a human phrase of excitement? No, Alex laughed. Not really. But Rilo didn't mind. His determination filled the room like a quiet storm. Tomorrow would be another challenge, another adventure, another disaster waiting to happen. And Alex already knew. He wouldn't trade it for anything. Alex woke earlier than usual. A strange silence filled the apartment. No humming. No metallic meditation sounds. No deep alien breathing. Just quiet. Rilo? Alex called out. Stepping into the living room, he heard a soft clatter from the balcony. Alex rushed over and there stood Rilo, staring at the rising sun like he was reading secret messages in the light. Morning, Alex said. Rilo turned slowly, eyes glowing with a strange calm. Alex, today is important. Alex frowned. Important how? Two. Rilo pointed to the balcony railing. Resting there was a small metallic device shaped like a star. My mission supervisor contacted me, Rilo said. I must give my first report today. They will review my progress. They will judge if I understand humans enough to continue. Alex felt a sudden pressure in his chest. He didn't want Rilo to leave. Not yet, maybe not ever. So, what do we need to do? Alex asked quietly. I need to show them proof, Rilo said. But not numbers. Not lists. Real understanding. Alex nodded. We can do that. Rilo's shoulders relaxed. Then teach me one more thing today. One final human custom. Something important. Alex thought carefully. He didn't want to choose something chaotic or overwhelming. Something meaningful. Something human. And then he knew. We're going out, Alex said. Rilo blinked. Where? Somewhere important. A walk through the park. Alex led Rilo to a large city park. Families walked together. Children laughed. People jogged. Couples sat on benches. Trees swayed in the breeze. Dogs barked happily. Birds sang. Rilo paused at the entrance, watching everything with wide, thoughtful eyes. What custom is this? Rilo asked. Relaxation, Alex said. Humans don't just work and struggle. Sometimes, we slow down. We enjoy life. Rilo tilted his head. Enjoy? Yeah. We take peaceful walks. We sit in the sun. We breathe. We rest. Rilo watched a group of children chasing bubbles. Their laughter filled the air. That sound, Rilo whispered. This is laughter? Alex nodded. Yeah. Happiness. Rilo looked, moved. It feels warm, like sunlight inside the heart. Alex smiled. Exactly. They walked slowly along the path. Rilo stopped often, to watch ducks swim in a pond, to observe a gardener trimming plants, to listen to an old man playing guitar, to smell flowers with serious concentration. This world, Rilo whispered. I always thought humans survived because they were strong. But you survive because your world gives you reasons to keep going. Alex smiled softly. Now you're understanding. The human picnic attempt. Alex decided to take the lesson further. We're going to have a picnic, he announced. Rilo blinked. A pic? Nick? Yeah. Humans eat outdoors for fun. Rilo nodded slowly. Very well. I will do this human ritual. Alex spread a blanket under a tree while Rilo inspected the grass like it was a strange new life form. "Is this plant safe?" Rilo asked. "It's grass. It won't hurt you." Rilo lowered himself carefully, like he expected the ground to explode. Alex opened the picnic bag. "We've got sandwiches, fruit, and juice." Rilo pointed at the sandwiches. "Yes." Rilo lifted one sandwich and looked at it from every angle. Then he took a bite. His eyes widened. "Alex, the bread has layers." I. That's the idea. And inside, there is a combination of tastes. Sweet, soft, crunchy. It's called a sandwich. Rilo nodded with deep seriousness. "Sandwich. I approve." Alex laughed. "Good to know." Rilo took another bite, then paused. "Alex, what now?" "There are small creatures approaching us." Alex looked down. "Ants. Just ants." Rilo stared at them with alarm. "They are marching with purpose." "Are they trained soldiers?" "No, Rilo. They just like food." Rilo watched as the ants carried a crumb away. "Their teamwork is impressive. I respect them." Alex chuckled. "That's a very Rilo thing to say." The human conversation. After eating, they sat in silence for a while. Not awkward silence, comfortable silence. Finally, Rilo spoke softly. "Alex, may I ask something?" "Sure." "When humans feel fear, how do they calm themselves?" Alex looked at him seriously. "We talk. We share. We trust someone." He nudged Rilo. "Like I trust you." Rilo's eyes glowed brighter. "And I trust you." Alex smiled. "That's how we survive things. Together." Rilo looked at the families nearby. The friends laughing. The couple holding hands. "I see. Humans form bonds. And those bonds give them strength." "Exactly." Rilo lowered his head. "Then maybe my mission was never only to observe humans. Maybe it was to understand this bond." Alex placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're doing great." Rilo seemed to relax like he had been carrying a weight all this time. The misunderstood dog incident. Just when things felt peaceful, chaos arrived in the form of a golden retriever. The dog ran up to them, tail wagging wildly. Rilo stood instantly. "Alex, a beast is approaching." "It's just a dog. It's friendly." The dog licked Rilo's hand. Rilo froze. He's saying hello." Rilo slowly lowered himself to one knee. "This creature greets with affection. A bold and honorable act." The dog dropped a stick in front of him. Alex smiled. "He wants to play fetch." "Fetch?" Rilo repeated. "Throw the stick." Rilo nodded, picked up the stick, and threw it with alien soldier strength. The stick shot into the sky, disappearing completely. The dog stared, confused. Alex face-palmed. "Rilo, I have overperformed," Rilo admitted. The dog barked once, as if saying wow, and trotted away. The final lesson. As the sun began to lower, they sat quietly again. "Rilo," Alex said gently, "I think you learned the last human custom." Rilo turned to him. "Which one?" "Peace." Rilo blinked. "Peace?" "Yeah, humans need it. We look for it. We share it." Rilo looked at the park one more time, at the people smiling, the trees swaying, the sky warming with evening colors. "I understand," he whispered. The mission report. Back home, the metallic star device floated in front of Rilo. A hologram formed a Kartal officer, with glowing blue armor. "Rilo of the Kartal," the hologram said. "Submit your report." Rilo straightened. "I am ready." Alex stood quietly behind him. Rilo spoke clearly, powerfully. "I have learned that humans are not simply strong. They are not simply chaotic. They are not simply emotional. They are something more." The hologram flickered. "Explain." "Humans survive because they find joy in small things. They protect each other. They laugh. They rest. They build bonds that give them strength greater than any weapon." Rilo lifted his chin proudly. "Humans do not merely live. They live with purpose." Alex swallowed hard. The officer asked, "Do you wish to continue your mission?" Rilo turned and looked at Alex. Then he faced the hologram. Yes, I will stay. I have more to learn. The hologram nodded. Approved. Report again, in one Earth cycle. The device faded. Rilo let out a long breath. Alex smiled. So, you're not leaving? Rilo shook his head. No. I am your roommate. I will stay. Alex grinned. Good. Because you still need to learn how to use the microwave. Rilo looked concerned. Is it dangerous? Alex laughed. Only if you make it dangerous. Rilo nodded with determination. Then tomorrow, we learn the microwave. Alex groaned. I'm not ready. Rilo tilted his head. Is that a human phrase of excitement? Alex laughed even harder. Ending. Night fell as the two sat in the glowing light of the apartment. A human and an alien. A friendship born from chaos, curiosity, mistakes, laughter, and a whole lot of learning. Rilo whispered, Alex, thank you. For what? Alex asked. For showing me what it means to be human. Alex smiled softly. Anytime, big guy. Rilo leaned back, peaceful. Tomorrow. A new human custom. Alex rolled his eyes. Yeah. Let's survive today first. Together, they watched the stars outside the window, two very different beings, sharing the same, strange, wonderful world. And the adventure was only beginning.